Welcome back, CSE 3200 Yukon Stores. We're in video 6 of chapter 16, where we are going to create yet another intent, this time asking for a contact. Just as a quick recap, in the last video we made two intents. The first one was we broadcast out that we wanted to send a crime report, which was just a plain text. So who or what in our phone could handle that task? We did not get something that looked quite like this. It was similar, but it wasn't quite as nice. But if we hit always, like we always wanted to use one of the options that we selected messages, then we wouldn't get a choice the next time. So what we did is we created a chooser intent. We wrapped the original intent inside of the chooser intent. That way we would get this graphic, which was nicer, and it always offered us a choice, so long as we had so long as we had two or more things that could send a plain text. In chapter 7, we learned about classes that define a contract between you and the activity you're starting. The contract defines the input you provide at the start of the activity and the output that you expect to receive back as a result. We used activity result contracts.start activity for result. This time, however, we're going to use something more specific, activity results contracts.pickContact. It's specifically designed for what we are going to do in this video. Activity result contracts.pickContact will send the user to an activity where they can select a contact, their Contacts app. Once they select, the app will receive a URI back as a result, thus fulfilling the contract. Since you expect a result back, you will use register for activity result. The code's been down here the entire time. It's kind of small, but this is kind of a busy slide. But other than that code, we're going to have a couple more things to do before this video is over. We'll stay inside the same class, but in onViewCreated, we are going to set a click listener on the crime suspect button. Inside that listener, we're going to call a launch function on the select suspect property. Selecting a contact requires no input, so we're going to have to pass null in to launch that function. And finally, we're going to go back to where we had been coding most recently. We're going to go to Update UI, and we're going to set the text on the Choose Suspect button. We're going to use string.ifEmpty to provide a default text if there's no current suspect. It's where it's at now, but because it basically has the crime suspect as the text now, but we're going to say that if there is no data there, that is going to explicitly be our text on our button. All right, let's get into that code. So we're going to be in crime detail fragments. We're going to go towards the top. Got a lot of code in here now. Private val select suspect is equal to register for activity results meant to separate the parentheses, did not mean to have a slash in there. Activity result contracts.pickContact I had a problem with this before. It required an import, and it wasn't coming up with the import. So we'll see if we can fix that in a little bit. All right, so we're going to go outside of these parentheses and put curly braces. We're going to have a URI as the name of our variable of type URI, and we're going to create a lambda function, but we are going to say we're not ready to do it. We're going to handle the result later. Okay, this is supposed to be a capital P, and it's not the problem that, it's not the problem that I remember having, but I still have errors down here. Okay, so I had a problem with the import, and this particular import was not coming up, but since I'd already done it and I forgot to take out the import, was not getting that problem this time. And this problem here is this is supposed to be of type URI nullable. Now we're going to go to the onView created, about where we have this old code, and we are going to go crime suspect dot set onClick listener. Get rid of the parentheses, curly braces, select suspect dot launch, passing in null. Now we're going to go to the update UI, where we had been working, where we had our start activity, and underneath that we are going to put crime suspect.text is equal to crime.suspect.ifEmpty. And inside of the curly braces, get string, passing in r.string.crime suspect text. Okay, now we're going to run it, but mostly we're just checking to see that it doesn't crash, because we're not ready to get that, that data back. We are just asking for it. So let's see what happens. All right, so let's go stapler phone, fails to ring. Let's choose suspect. And we are looking that it takes us to our contacts, which it does. Okay, and we could select that we think that it was Jim Halpert. And we still don't have choose suspect, but we will get to that in the next video, and I will see you there shortly.